Some people are just too smart for their own good. Some put their intelligence to good use, whereas others turn down a much darker path, one filled with elaborate illegal schemes. But I'm not saying all criminals are smart. In fact, there are some very questionable ones out there. But for today's video, let's focus on the greatest criminal masterminds out there. The ones that have shocked the world with their crimes and have fooled law enforcement. Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. I'm your host, Lindsay Ivan, and today I'm bringing you the top 10 greatest thieves in history. Starting off this countdown, we have the Tucker Cross Thief. In 1955, a scuba diver named Teddy Tucker was out searching the San Pedro, a Spanish ship that sunk near the Florida Keys back in 1594. While searching, he came across a 22-karat gold emerald cross. He ended up selling it to the government of Bermuda, which put it on display in a museum. However, in 1975, the cross was stolen and replaced with a replica. Authorities don't know when the cross was switched or who stole it. They never had any leads, so this case remains a huge mystery. Whoever this thief was very sneaky, and now owns the most valuable object ever found in a shipwreck. Coming in at number 9, we have Albert SPAGGIARI. Albert SPAGGIARI is a well-known thief responsible for the 1976 Societe Generale bank robbery. Born in 1932, Albert began stealing at a young age. The first robbery he committed was in order to impress his girlfriend, but he was caught and then sent to jail. After being released, he lived a pretty normal life, until he got bored of it and decided to plan a massive robbery at the Societe Generale bank. He assembled a team and they got to work. Their plan was to dig underneath from a nearby sewer system to get into the bank vaults located in the building's basement. The team spent 2 months digging this tunnel, and it was successful. On July 16, 1976, during a long weekend when the bank was closed, the crew successfully entered the vault and stole over 400 safety deposit boxes. They made off with about $60 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. If he was such a great thief, he wouldn't have been caught. Well, technically the reason that he got caught wasn't his fault at all. One of the team members' girlfriends turned them all in. But during his trial, he managed to escape by distracting the judge. He then jumped out of the window onto a motorcycle and fled. He was never caught and his share of the money was never found. Moving on to number 8, we have Bonnie and Clyde. Of course they were going to be on the list. They are famous criminals. There are several movies and books made about them. So Bonnie and Clyde were an American couple that would travel the US robbing banks and stores. Apparently when the two first met, they became infatuated with each other. In January of 1930, after Clyde escaped prison, he teamed up with Bonnie to go on numerous crime sprees. These sprees lasted for 21 months. They were known to rob gas stations, restaurants, and small town banks. During the crimes, the media sensationalized the two criminals, which is why they are so popular today and are often regarded as great thieves, despite their tragic ending. In our 7th spot, we have Jonathan Wild. If this dude was still alive today, he would have been given a Grammy for his acting. This dude ran a successful group of thieves, while at the same time was a public figure who was like, "Ugh, I hate thieves, I'm a crime fighter here to stop them." He was even named the Thief Taker General. He had everyone fooled. So his group of thieves would steal goods, and then Jonathan would say that he found the stolen items and would collect the reward for them. In some cases, he would even blackmail others for money. So not only would he be a hero for returning the stolen items, but he would also help aid the police in catching the thieves behind it. What an actor! Damn! He successfully pulled this off for 7 years before he finally got caught. But still, that's impressive. Making our way down the list, number 6, we have Doris PAYNE. Another criminal that if she didn't take up a life of crime, she should have been an actor. So Doris PAYNE would dress up as a wealthy customer and would target jewelry stores, telling the clerk she was looking for a diamond ring. She would then charm the clerk to bring out a bunch of different items. Eventually, she would confuse the clerk, making them forget how many items they brought outside of the case. During this confusion, she would grab 1 or 2 pieces and then she would sell the jewels and move on to her next target. She pulled this stunt off for more than 6 decades. That's insane. We are now at our 5th and halfway mark with the WILCOX train robbery. This is said to be the most iconic robbery of the Old West. So early in the morning on June 2nd, 1899, 2 men posing as train workers signaled down the train to stop in the middle of Wyoming just before it was about to cross a bridge. They then forced the train crew to separate the locomotive from the carriages. The unattached locomotive was then driven over the other side of the bridge. The men then destroyed the bridge so they couldn't get back. With no one to stop them, the robbers blew up a safe in one of the carriages and stole its contents. They escaped on horseback with around $50,000, which today would have been equivalent to $7 million. Moving on at number 4, we have the Boston Museum heist, one of the most successful heists of all time. Side note, I'm watching Money Heist on Netflix right now and I'm addicted, that's all I have to say. So on the night of March 18th, 1990, 2 men disguised as police officers went to the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum, claiming that they were responding to a disturbance call. Once inside, they handcuffed the guards in the basement. Then they spent the next hour stealing about $500 million worth of artwork. The next day, the morning shift guards found the museum completely ransacked. Just empty frames hanging on the walls, but no artwork. Now, to this day, no one has ever been arrested for this crime. And even if the robbers did come forward, they wouldn't be arrested since the statute of limitations has passed. And at number 3, we have the French Vacuum Gang. Pretty funny name for a gang, if I do say so myself. Well, since 2006, this gang of thieves have been successfully emptying out supermarket safes. Now, most criminals would either use like a safe cracking method to open the safes or explosives, but this group found a more interesting and effective way to rob stores. So they would drill a hole in delivery tubes near the safe and then would use a powerful vacuum to suck up the money from out of the safe. Genius. And it leaves behind not a lot of evidence. This group is still said to be active. Their last robbery was in 2011 and they stole almost $800,000. The only evidence law enforcement have on them are CCTV tapes of their masked faces. In our second spot, we have the Pink Panthers. The Pink Panthers are a group of Serbian jewel thieves. They are very clever and have very thorough plans for their robberies. In fact, these robberies have occurred all over the world. Here's an example of how clever they are. Before one robbery, they painted a bench across from the jewelry store with paint to keep people from sitting on it. That way, there wouldn't be any witnesses of the crime. In Paris, they dressed up as a woman and stole over $100 million worth of jewelry. The first robbery they committed that we know of was in 1993. They stole a 500,000 pound diamond from a jeweler in London. They hid this diamond in a jar of face cream, similar to a scene in the 1975 film The Return of the Pink Panther. Hence why they were named the Pink Panthers. Over the years, this group has hit over 120 stores in 20 different countries, and they still have never been caught. And in our number 1 spot, we have Frank William Abagnale Jr. Chances are you've heard of his name or seen Leonardo DiCaprio's portrayal of him in the film Catch Me If You Can. This guy was a massive con artist and forger. He managed to scam millions of dollars from banks through check fraud across 26 countries. He did this all within 5 years. He started doing so at only 16 years old. While traveling the world, Frank would take on fake identities. He successfully managed to convince people that he was a pilot, doctor, and lawyer. In total, he had about 8 different identities, and FBI had the hardest time tracking him down. In fact, he managed to escape from police custody twice. Now, he was eventually caught, but he kinda got off easy. He served fewer than 5 years in prison and then started working for the government. He is currently a consultant and lecturer for the FBI Academy and field offices, and and, kinda ironically, he runs his own financial fraud consultancy company. And that's all for today's video. Let me know in the comments below which thief you thought was the most clever. And now let's move on to our comment shoutout portion. I'll be shouting out comments from my video, Top 10 Scary Government Secrets Leaked on Reddit. The Alien Hunter commented, "You have elf ears. That's adorable. Did you do that yourself or were you born with them? Either way, never change." I was born with them? I didn't purposely make my ears pointy, but they're not elf ears. I don't know. They're not pointy, but I've gotten that comment a lot lately. Okay. Carl Henrik commented, "DB Cooper and his treasure was also the basis for the movie Up the River Without a Paddle." Okay, when I read this comment, I'm just stupid. I watched that movie. I love this movie. I watched it several years ago and I just never made the connection until now. I'm like blown away. I love that movie with Dak Shepard and Seth Green and Matthew Lillard. AKA Scooby-Doo. I mean, AKA Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. That's who Matthew Lillard is. Okay. Channing J. Booth commented, "Your eyes remind me of a jewelry store filled with diamonds." Oh, thank you. I got elf ears and diamond eyes. And that's all the comments I'm shouting out for today's video. Make sure to comment something down below for a chance to be featured in my next comment shout out. And as always, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to Most Amazing Top 10 for more amazing videos. I've been your host, Lindsay Ivan, and I'll see ya when I see ya. What's the opposite of attached? Unattached. Yeah. They unattached. Oh, the unattached. Oh, duh. So, on the night of March 18th, well, since 2006, this gang of thieves have successfully